Okay, what is up everybody? Thank you for coming back to my channel. If you haven't, hi, I'm Grace. But sorry if I'm speaking really quiet. It's actually like really late at night and I don't want my roommates to hear me. But basically today I wanted to talk about my first semester of college and just try to give y'all some advice and some things to like look out for when you're starting college. It's an adjustment. It's hard. It's definitely not easy. Everyone has a hard time, and I know I'm not the only one feeling this way, but basically like it's a huge adjustment. Like everything in your life pretty much just changed. Like you're not living with your family anymore. You're living in a new environment, which you have to get used to. You're living with roommates who you may or may not know, and even if you do know them, like you've never lived with them consistently before, like you have to get used to it. And if you don't know them, you have to get used to living with this new person. And it's just like hard. Like I'm not gonna lie, like me and my roommates, we had some moments where we clashed, but now like we've resolved our issues and we're okay. The second thing is just classes. Like I'm not gonna lie, like the adjustment, it almost like wasn't different, but it like is, because like you go from high school having like maybe like 20 something 30 people in your classes, and now you're going to 100 to like 300 people. Like only in one of my classes did I have less than 100 people, and that was only because it was a learning community. Like it wasn't even like a legit class, if that makes sense. Like we only met once a week. It was basically just a class to like meet people and have a resource to communicate with someone. But in all my other classes, like my psychology class, that was 100 people. My religious studies class, that was 100 people. My online class, like you have to get used to that because no one's holding you accountable. Like it's just you have to do it. You have to make sure you do it. And then my biology class was like over 300 people. And so it's like different, but like personally for me that like wasn't an issue. Like I just made friends on the first day, and then honestly it just felt like me and my friends were in that class because I didn't pay attention to anyone else but my friends and the teacher. One like really hard thing is that in high school you have your like professors reminding you about when assignments due and all this stuff. In college you don't have that. You have to keep yourself accountable for what assignments you have and when exams and when to start studying. Your teachers, like your professors, are not going to baby you. They'll maybe tell you like, oh, come to an SI session, but that's, you have to get yourself there. They're not going to force you to do anything. And if you don't turn in your assignments, that's too bad. They're not going to baby you. They're not going to give you a second chance unless it's like excused or whatever. But if you don't turn it in, there's nothing you can do about it. Another thing is like time management. In high school, you're used to doing your work in class, or like at least most of the time you'd have time to do your work. In college, it's not like that. Like you have a lecture and that's the time where you're learning, and then all the rest of the time you're pretty much just teaching yourself again so you completely understand it. And then all the assignments, you have to do that on your own time, not in class. And like I know some professors who would get mad at students for doing anything other than taking notes in class, and they would call them out in class. I don't even know what number I'm on, but basically like another thing is like social time. Like you need to be mentally healthy. I had a very rough time, and like at the beginning of the semester all I did was stay in my room. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything. I was just like stuck in my room. But I needed to be mentally healthy. You have to, like in this environment, like one thing, like you get one bad grade, it's gonna beat you up, but you have to just keep moving forward. So, but make sure you're not also like going out all the time. Like you need to balance it. It is okay to go out. It's okay to go to parties, to go out like to a dance hall, or to go out to eat or whatever, like to the movies. It's okay to do that, but make sure you're also holding yourself accountable for your assignments. That's like one thing that I know a lot of people have like trouble with. I see a lot of people just going out all the time, and I really don't know. Maybe that works for them, but I really don't know how they balance their social time and their schoolwork, because the way that they go out, I could not do that. Like I really couldn't. Another thing is like grades. Is college is hard, man. Like it's not easy. You could think you did so well on a test and come back and like completely fail it. Like I'm not gonna lie, that's happened to me. In my bio exam, my second one, I thought I did really good. Like I thought I got like a high 80 or like something like that, and I completely failed it. And that's what's so hard about college, because you think like you do so good and then you get that grade back and it crushes you, because you're like, how did I think I was doing so good and then completely fail it? Like after that, I'm not gonna lie, I just like gave up. At that point, I was like, whatever happens, it's meant to be. But that's also not like a bad thing. Like I know God has a path for me, and whatever happens, he's making happen for a reason. It's probably a lesson or whatever, but I know this semester, like, I have to get my stuff together. Like, I can't miss a beat. Another thing is, like, friends. Like, honestly, at the beginning of the semester, I saw another YouTuber say this. It was weird. Like, my friend group was weird because you're meeting so many people at once, and half of these people, like, no offense, like, they don't really care about you. And, like, there's some times where I'm here and I just think I could leave, or like I could like go like off the grid for like a whole day, and these people who I was like hanging out with would not even notice. And like eventually you'll find your people. Like I found my people. If you follow my Instagram, or if you've seen like some of my vlogs, like I found my people. I found Kendall and Colin, Mooch, Tyler, like all of them. And like now me and my roommates are starting to get closer this semester, and like everything's just getting a little bit better, and now I'm getting like used to the situation. But it's definitely like weird at first because you're meeting so many people, and like you just have to realize like who actually cares and who doesn't. I feel like this video is like all over the place and I'm talking a lot, but there's just a lot to say. Like I know probably everyone says like, oh, it's an adjustment, but it is, but you just need to realize it's not just like, oh, you're living on your own. It's like, oh, you are now responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your grades. You're responsible for your assignments. You're responsible for your mental health. No one's going to tell you, oh, like, you need to get out. No one's going to do that. One thing that, like, really helped me, like, stay on top of my, like, assignments was a planner. And, like, before this year, like, during high school, I tried to use planners. Every single year I bought a planner. And I maybe used it for, like, a month or, like, the first semester, and that was it. But, like, this really had me on top of my game because I kept it with me all the time. I wrote every single assignment in this thing. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but those are all my assignments, and like color-coded everything. And it said, like, when they were due, when I should start working on them, like, what class they were for, and the exact time that they were due. Like, some are due at, like, 5 p.m., some are due at midnight. It's just, that really, really helped me out. Or even, like, getting, like, Google Calendar. Like, I'm trying to use Google Calendar more, like, this semester, too, so I have, like, 2 options, because sometimes I didn't have my planner, and I'm like, well, I don't know when that's due. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I would have to go check my syllabus, and instead of having to do that, I can just look at my phone. But one thing I definitely recommend is when you get all your syllabi or syllabus, whatever, is to write every single assignment, exam, like anything due. Like get a calendar. Even if like you don't think you're gonna use it, just buy one of those big calendars that go on your wall and write it for the first month or the first 2 months or whatever, because it will help you. And try your hardest to do it, because like I said, like, planners didn't work for me before, but I would have, like, been lost without mine this semester. Like, completely lost. Another thing that would probably really help is, like, keeping a schedule, because, like, even if my class starts at, like, 12:45, I want to wake up early so that I don't, like, sleep in late the rest of the days. But definitely, like, get to your classes early. I personally get there really early. Like, it's honestly not necessary. But if anything happens, I know I'm still going to be on time. Like, anything. Like, there's sometimes where the bus takes forever, and if I had left 15 minutes before class, or like 20 minutes before class, I would have been so late. So I personally leave like really early. You don't have to do that, but I would definitely recommend like leaving a good amount early so you get to your class maybe like 5 to 10 minutes before you even go in, because most of the times I would just be like sitting outside waiting for the class before me to like leave. And that's better than being there late and walking in with everyone staring at you. And sometimes I've heard of a story where one of the professors completely yelled at the 2 guys and just told them to get out. Like, they just walked into class late and like yelled at them to get out. I personally haven't had any professors like that, but like there are some people out there who are like that. So you just want to be on time. You want to be on top of your stuff. You want to be able to get there early, have everything ready before you go. and be able to like know what's going on. Another thing is like try to join things. Like I was a part of like fish camp because like everyone could go in it or whatever. And so at the beginning of the semester, I had like a lot of counselors who would offer like, they offer everyone to like eat lunch with them or study in the MSc or whatever, like, you know, just having people there. And of course, like eventually through the semester, like they stop, but like they're not supposed to have to keep doing that. And that point of the semester, you found your people or you found like what works for you. But I would definitely like try to join things. Like I did join Patriot Paws, but there was just a time where I could not like go to the things. Like I was not motivated at all. But this semester I am going to apply to be a fish camp counselor for the class of 2023, and I'm gonna apply to Riley's and Maggie's, which are both women organizations. So hopefully I get in those, and like we'll see what happens with that. But I'm definitely gonna try to be more involved because that's a better way for me to like be involved on campus and also like have people who like are interested in the same things as I am. One of my biggest things is just like know you're not alone. Please know that you're not the only one who's going through a lot of these things. Like you're not the only one who's struggling with classes. Don't like think that you're the only one who just wants to be in their room all day and like doesn't feel like getting out because they're upset. You're not the only one. Like there are people with you, so don't feel like you're alone. I can't really think of anything else, and I know that this video is like completely like so random and so disorganized, but I just really felt like I should film it since the start of my second semester is tomorrow. But again, like sorry that this video was like all over the place, but I've really been wanting to actually film this because I want people to know that like they're not alone in these struggles, and also to give like future college students advice and just kind of prepare them to like know what's gonna come in or like know what they're getting themselves into almost. But yeah, so if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. But thanks for watching.